We live? I know we upside down, but we live. What's this do? Enter text for chat or cancel. I don't know. I think we're live. Hello, 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 hello. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. It's Easter. Yay. It's Easter. Okay, so before we get started, it's going to be a biblical stream. I have my Bible here, holy word right here. But before we do that, I want to talk about Easter Bunny. What I got for Easter Bunny. So got this. I got one of the old phone water games. Has a tab on the back, which I think is pretty cool. But it's just one of the water games where I try to get the rings onto the things. See if I can get one on stream. Yeah, I have to have it upright. I can still see it. Come on, let me go crazy. Hey, there we go. We got some on. Yeah, we got that. Got some peeps. The peeps, love the peeps. Squish. And then a whole bunch of candy. Candy. My voice cut out there for a sec. Okay, so like I said, it's gonna be a biblical stream. I'm gonna be reading from the book. Highlighter and pin. 27:2 through. That's too far. 27:2 through 2 through. Alright. I'm gonna be reading Matthew 27, 26, 57 through Matthew 28, 10. Yeah, so I'm gonna be reading a lot. Make sure to have, if you wanna have your highlighter ready. I have to pause the stream real quick, or at least turn my camera off real quick. My camera is turned off at the moment. I'm sorry, I have to figure something out real quick. See if I can. Nope, I cannot. Okay, so it's just going to be upside down for y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, camera on. Okay, it's gonna be upside down, I believe. I'm sorry. I have to do this on my phone because my iPad decided to be stupid and died on me. But we're going to be reading Matthew 27:2 through Matthew 28. What we're reading from. Okay, verse 57. This is Jesus' face, and sorry if I get the names wrong. Hi. Sorry if I get the names wrong. I have dyslexia, so it's hard for me to say some names. But Jesus faces the Saradine, I believe is what that says. Those who have arrested Jesus led him away to see another name I can't read. To the high priest. There were scribes and the elders had convicted. Peter was following him at a distance, right to the high priest courtyard. He went in and was sitting with the servants to see the outcome. The chief priest and the whole Siberan, I think that's what that word is. The whole Siberan were looking for false testimonies against Jesus, so that they could put him to death. But they could not find any, even though many false witnesses came forward. Finally, 2 came forward and started. This man said, "I can destroy the temple of God and rebuild it in 3 days." The high priest stood up and said to him, "Don't you have an answer for that? To what these men are testifying against you?" But I charge you under oath. You have said it, Jesus told him. But I tell you, in the future, you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming to the clouds of heaven. Sorry, I know it's upside down. I can't. To be stupid on me today. Can you see that better? And is it the right side up now? 5. Then the high priest tore his robes and said, he has blasphemed. Why do we still need witnesses? See now, you have heard the blasphemy. What is your decision? They answered, he deserves death. Then they spat in his face and beat him. Others slapped him and said, prophesy to us, Messiah. Who is that who hit you? We are in Matthew 26:69 now. Peter denies his Lord. Now, Peter was sitting outside in the courtyard. A servant girl approached him and said, you were with Jesus the Galilean too. Sorry, I'm turning off my fan real quick so y'all can hear better. I am in... where was I? Right here. A servant girl approached him and said, you were with Jesus in the Galilean too. But he denied it in front of everyone. I do not know what you are talking about. When he had gone out to the gateway, another woman saw him and told those who were there, this man was with Jesus the Nazarene. And again he denied it with an oath. I do not know that man. I do not know the man. After a little while, those standing there approached and said to Peter, you really are one of them, since even your accent gives you away. Then he started to curse and swear with an oath. I do not know the man. Immediately a rooster crowed. And Peter remembered the words Jesus had spoken. Before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times. And he went outside and wept bitterly. We are in Matthew 27 now. Sorry if it's glitching and all that. I'm trying my best here. When daybreak came, all the chief priests and the elders of the people plotted against Jesus to put him to death. After tying him up, they led him away and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. Flip over here. Trying to keep my hand steady for y'all, sorry. Then Judas, his betrayer, seeing that... Did I miss something? When daybreak came, Pilate, the governor, yeah. Then Judas, his betrayer, seeing that Jesus had been condemned, was full of remorse and returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priest and elders. I have sinned by betraying an innocent blood, he said. What is this to us? He said, see it to yourself. So he threw the silver at them into the temple and departed, and he went and hung himself. The chief priest took the silver and said, it's not permitted to put it into our temple treasury since it is blood money. They conferred together and brought it to the potter's field, where with it is a burial place for foreigners. Therefore, that field has been called the field of blood to this day. Then, what was spoken through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. They took the 30 pieces of silver, the price for a man whose peace was set by the Israelites, and they gave them to the potter's field as the Lord directed me. 27, verse 11. Jesus faces the governor. Now Jesus stood before the governor. Are you the king of the Jews? The governor asked him. Jesus answered, you say so. While he was being accused by the chief priest and the elders, he didn't answer. Then Pilate said to him, don't you hear how much they're testifying against you? But he didn't answer him on even one charge. So that left the governor quite amazed. That's what surprises me, that even Jesus' silence amazes people. I like that a lot. I don't know, just thought I'd say that. At the time, they had a notorious prisoner called Barabbas. I think I'm saying that right. So when they had gathered together, Pilate said to them, Who is it that you want me to release for you? Barabbas or Jesus, who is called Christ? For he knew it was because of envy that they had handed him over. While he was sitting on the judge's bench, his wife sent word to him, "Have nothing to do with that righteous man, for today I've suffered terribly in a dream because of him." The chief priest and the elders, however, persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas and to execute Jesus. The governor asked them, "Which of the two do you want me to release for you?" "Barabbas," they answered. Pilate asked him, "Then what should I do with Jesus who is called Christ?" They all answered, "Crucify him." And he said, "Why? What has he done wrong?" But they kept shouting more and more, "Crucify him." When Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but that a riot was starting instead, he took some water, washed his hands in front of the crowd, and said, "I am innocent of this man's blood. See it to yourself." All the people answered, "His blood be on us and our children." Then he released Barabbas to them, and after having Jesus flogged, handed him over to be crucified. I gotta take a drink real quick, I'm sorry. Hello, welcome for joining us. We are reading in Matthew 27, verse 27, where Jesus is mocked by the military. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the governor's residence and gathered a whole company around him. They stripped him and dressed him up in a scarlet robe. They twisted together a crown of thorns, put it on his head, and placed a staff in his right hand. And they knelt down before him and mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews!" Then they spat on him, took the staff, and kept hitting him on the head. After they had mocked him, they stripped him of his robe and put his own clothes on him. They led him to be crucified. Crucified between two criminals. We are in Matthew 27, verse 32. Welcome for joining. As they were going out, they found a Christian man named Simon. They forced him to carry his cross. When they came to a place called Golgotha, I can't read that, I'm sorry, which means place of the skull, they gave him wine mixed with gall to drink. But when he tasted it, he refused to drink it. After crucifying him, they divided his clothes by casting lots. They sat down and were guarding him there. Above his head they put a charge against him, writing, "This is Jesus, King of the Jews." Then two criminals were crucified next to him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by were yelling insults and shaking their heads and saying, "You who could destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross." In the same way the chief priest with the scribes and elders mocked at him and said, "He saved others, but he cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now, if it takes pleasure in him. For he said, 'I am the Son of God.'" In the same way, even the criminals who are crucified with him taunted him. The death of Jesus. From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over the whole land. About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, "Ele, Ele, lama sabachthani." I think I'm saying that right. I have no clue. That is, my God, why have you abandoned me?" Or in some versions, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of those standing there heard this, they said, "He's calling for Elijah." Immediately, one of them ran and got a stick and a sponge. He filled it with wine and put it on a stick and offered it to drink. But the rest said, "Let's see if Elijah would come save him." But Jesus cried out with a loud voice and gave up his spirit. Suddenly, the curtain of sanctuary was torn from two, top to bottom. Earth quaked and the rocks were split. The tombs were also opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And they came out of their tombs after his resurrection, entered the holy city, and appeared to many. When something and those with him who were keeping watch over Jesus saw the earthquake and the things that happened, they were terrified and said, "Truly, this man was the Son of God." Hello, we're reading in Matthew 27, verse 55 right now. I'm reading all the way to the end right there. Many women who had followed Jesus from Galilee and looked after him there were watching from a distance. Among there were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Joseph, the mother of Zebulun's son. The burial of Jesus. I'm out of breath, sorry. When it was evening, a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph came, who himself had also become a disciple of Jesus. He approached Pilate and asked for Jesus' body. Then Pilate ordered that it be released, so Joseph took the body and wrapped it in clean, fine linen, and placed it in a new tomb which he had cut into a rock. After rolling a great stone against the entrance of the tomb, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were seated there facing the tomb. Closely guarded tomb. We are reading Matthew 27, verse 62 at the moment. The next day, which followed the I can't read that word, I'm sorry, it's split between two lines. Day, the chief priest and the Pharisees gathered before Pilate and said, "Sir, we remember that while his deceiver was still alive, he said, 'After 3 days I will rise again.' So give orders that the tomb be made secure until the 3rd day. Otherwise his disciples may come and steal him and tell people he has been raised from the dead. And the last deception will be worse than the first." "Take guards," Pilate told them. "Go and make it as secure as you know how." They went and secured the tomb by setting a seal on the tomb and placing the guards. This morning. I'm going to say this morning because it's resurrection morning, which is, you know what I mean. Matthew 28. After the Sabbath, as the first day of the week was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to view the tomb. There was a violent earthquake because an angel of the Lord descended from heaven and approached the tomb. He rolled back the stone and was sitting on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothing was as white as snow. The guards were so shaken by fear of him that they became like dead men. The angel told the woman, "Do not be afraid, because I know you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here, for he has risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has risen from the dead, and indeed he is going ahead of you to Galilee, where you will see him there. Listen, I have told you." So departing quickly from the tomb, with fear and great joy, they ran to tell his disciples the news. Just then Jesus met them and said, "Greetings." They came up and took hold of his feet and worshipped him. Then Jesus told them, "Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to leave for Galilee, and they will see me there." Excuse me, I gotta take a drink real quick. Oh wow, that's a lot of emotions right there. Okay, so there was that. Now I'm just gonna say a few cool facts that I learned while reading this. So here's what I thought was pretty cool. So I was reading this yesterday morning, the Matthew 27, right here, verse 26. Then he released Barabbas to them, and after having Jesus flogged, handed him over to be crucified. I was curious what the word flogged meant, and I have a Bible that if I have a question I usually can just come down here and look to see what the, verse meant right down here. Roman flogging utilized an instrument of torture called phlegism. A lengthier whip had thongs laced with sharp pieces of iron or bone. Although beatings in Jewish something were limited to 39 blows, no limit was imposed on Roman flogging. Ancient writers described victims being disemboweled or having their bones laid bare by the phlegism. What I think is cool, but not at the same time, is that they flogged him 39 times, because 40, they said, would kill a man. So they kept him alive to give him through as much pain as possible. That's why they had to have a random Christian named Simon come and carry his cross for him, because Jesus was way too weak to be having it, or to be holding the cross. But yeah, there's the story, and, well, not story, there's the, well, I don't know what to call it. There's the resurrection, and yeah, if you want to read more, it's in the Bible. But yeah, glad y'all enjoyed. Have a happy Easter. Yeah, bye. Bye-bye. Happy Easter. Peace. Hang on. Okay, bye y'all.